Throw away for obvious reasons. I'm a 36-year-old guy and my, now soon-to-be ex-wife, Jenna, is 33. We've been married for 5 years. She's always had this Hollywood energy, not just the looks, though she's gorgeous, but the vibe. She's that woman who walks into a room and suddenly everyone else feels like cardboard. You know the type. At first, I loved it. She had ambition, confidence, a killer sense of style, and yeah, she kind of looked like Megan Fox on a good day, and she knew it. She leaned into that comparison hard, same hair, same piercing stare, same borderline unhinged aura. She once joked, "People think I'm her evil twin." At the time, I laughed. Now? Not so funny. The early years were all glitz. Red carpet parties. Yes, we got invited to a few through her PR job, traveled to LA for business, and she'd drop names like confetti. Oh, Jason Momoa once bumped into me at Soho House, or Channing Tatum bought me a drink in Malibu, but I told him I was married. Duh. Again, at the time, I just felt proud, like I won the lottery. But the first crack in the diamond came when I noticed how she never let me hold her phone, not even for directions. She had Face ID disabled and a passcode longer than a Netflix terms and conditions update. I'd ask about it, and she'd laugh it off like, "I've got NDAs and celeb gossip I can't risk leaking, babe." I wanted to believe her. God, I really did. Because she was my wife. And you don't marry someone thinking they're running a second life behind your back. But that's what it felt like I was her civilian husband, the homebody she kept in the suburbs, while her other world, whatever it was, stayed hidden behind a passcode. It all boiled under the surface for a while. I ignored it, suppressed it, told myself I was being paranoid. After all, she was glamorous, and I was just the normal guy who lucked out, right? I didn't know yet that the whole thing was a scripted lie, and I was just an extra in her show. So here's where it got weird. It was a Tuesday night, nothing special. Jenna said she had a branding dinner with a skincare line that was apparently launching a celebrity campaign. I didn't question it. She dressed to the nines, black satin dress, blood red lipstick, those heels that make you nervous just looking at them, and left around 7 p.m. She kissed my cheek on the way out like it was a checkbox. No eye contact. Just peck, don't wait up. I tried to focus on work. I'm a web developer, work from home type, very boring compared to her Instagram lifestyle. Around 11:45 p.m., I got up to grab a glass of water. That's when I saw her phone sitting on the kitchen counter. She never left it behind. Ever. I picked it up on instinct, half expecting it to be a decoy or something. But it was the phone. Same marble pattern case, same tiny crack in the top corner. Battery almost dead. Now, I want to be very clear. I didn't plan to snoop. I really didn't. But when I tapped the screen, I realized it wasn't locked. Not really. Face ID was off. Passcode was disabled. It was wide open. Almost too open. The last opened app? Uber. Just curiosity, right? I tapped it. The most recent ride? Not from our house to Laurel and Vine, the restaurant she said she'd be at, but from a hotel in West Hollywood back to our neighborhood. Timestamp, 10:47 p.m. Weird. I scrolled down. Her previous ride that night? 6:58 p.m. to the same hotel. I just stood there, staring at it. My throat went dry. That was not a dinner reservation. That was a round trip to a place where people don't go for appetizers. I told myself, there has to be a reasonable explanation. Maybe it was a work hotel. Maybe she just met with someone there about a sponsorship thing. But then I opened her messages app. First message on the screen? A contact saved as Aaron G. Jim, with a blue heart emoji. Aaron G. I've been thinking about that dress all day. Room's ready. 7:14. Winky face. Her reply? Jenna, I'll be there in an hour. Leave the wine out. That was sent at 6:02 p.m., an hour before her Uber ride. My whole chest clenched like someone shoved a vacuum into it. This wasn't branding. This wasn't networking. This was a full-blown affair. And the worst part? I didn't even feel rage. Not yet. I felt numb. Like I was watching a scene from someone else's life. My wife, not some influencer caricature, was sleeping with a guy from her gym and drinking wine in a hotel while I was home folding her laundry. She got home around midnight. Smelled like vanilla and champagne. Hair slightly damp. Lipstick gone. And she smiled at me like nothing happened. I didn't say a word. Not yet. The next morning, I didn't sleep. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling while she snored softly next to me, like the weight of her betrayal hadn't even creased her conscience. I kept telling myself, wait until she's sober. Don't go full psycho in the middle of the night. So I waited. She rolled out of bed around 9:30 a.m. in one of my old college hoodies, all sweet and casual like she didn't just cheat in a hotel suite labeled 714. I watched her sip her coffee like a damn actress in a detergent commercial. Calm, effortless, performative. I couldn't do it anymore. So, I said, steady but cold, how was dinner at Laurel and Vine? She blinked, tilted her head. What? Last night, I said. You said you had that branding dinner. With the skincare people. Oh. Yeah, it was good. Super chill. You know, just girls being girls. A blatant, shameless lie. I nodded. Took a breath. That's funny, because your Uber receipt says you went to the Hotel Tavares in West Hollywood. Twice. She froze. It was subtle, like her soul skipped a frame. Then she narrowed her eyes. Wait, why were you checking my phone? She snapped. There it was. Deflection. Classic. Because you left it unlocked, and something didn't add up. Oh my God, you're seriously spying on me now? Is that what this is? Are you insecure because I actually have a life? I almost laughed. The audacity of it. The gaslighting was Olympic level. You're deflecting, I said. Who's Aaron G? She scoffed. He's just a guy I work out with. It's not like that. Room 714? I said. Wine out. I've been thinking about that dress all day. Boom. Silence. Her jaw clenched. She stood there for a second like she was deciding whether to double down or come clean. And, surprise, surprise, she doubled down. You're blowing this so out of proportion, she said. Nothing even happened. We talked. I was feeling low, and I needed someone to vent to. We didn't even sleep together. She actually said that. In the face of timestamps and flirty messages. I stared at her, and something inside me broke a little. The version of her I married. The confident, magnetic woman I believed in. She wasn't real. This was her. This liar. This manipulative, dodgy version. Not glamorous. Not sexy. Just hollow. You left this house to cheat on me, I said quietly. And you came back like it was nothing. Like I'm the idiot. She rolled her eyes and muttered, Jesus, you're so dramatic. And just like that, I knew. We were done. The second she said I was being dramatic, something in me snapped. Not in a loud, explosive way. Not like throwing plates or yelling. It was quieter than that, scarier, even. I just disconnected. Like a switch flipped. I stood up, walked past her, and went to the bedroom. I didn't say a word. Just pulled open the closet and grabbed the overnight bag I used when visiting my parents. She followed me in, barefoot, coffee in hand, now slightly panicked. Wait, what are you doing? She asked. I said, I'm going to stay with my brother for a few days. You're seriously leaving over this? It wasn't even that deep. You're acting like I'm the first person to make a mistake. Mistake? A mistake is forgetting to take the trash out. Not getting railed by Aaron in a hotel room. But I didn't say that. Not yet. She kept pushing. You're just gonna run away? Over something you think happened? Based on what? A ride receipt and a few texts you misread. I zipped the bag. You lied to my face multiple times. You only started backpedaling when I showed you proof. Then she changed strategies. Like, instantly. She got teary-eyed. Switched from attack mode to soft voice pity mode. I felt alone, okay? You're always working, and I'm out there trying to make things happen. Sometimes I feel like you don't see me anymore. Like I'm just a background character in your little suburban life. That hurt. Because I'd always supported her dreams. Paid for her flights to LA. Picked up extra freelance work so she could focus on branding. Hell, I edited half her influencer content. Then it got worse. She blurted, I was gonna tell you. I was gonna come clean. But then I thought, what if you don't understand? What if you leave me and everything falls apart? Jenna, I said, you had sex with another man. In a hotel. Then lied about it 3 times before I even confronted you. You weren't worried about us. You were worried about getting caught. That's when her crocodile tears dried up. She went quiet. Then snapped, you're not perfect either, you know. Oh yeah. I said. What have I done? She grabbed at thin air. You don't compliment me anymore. You never post about me. You don't even notice when I get new nails. That was her grand defense. She cheated because I didn't post her manicures on Instagram. I slung my bag over my shoulder and walked out the door. She didn't follow me. I think she knew. So I stayed at my brother Nate's place. He's got a spare room that's basically a shrine to his gaming setup, but it had a futon and clean sheets, which was all I needed. I spent most of that first night just pacing, running it over and over in my head, trying to make sense of how we got from Dream Team to this. The next morning, she texted me, like nothing happened. "Jenna, can you grab my green blazer from the closet and drop it off at Dry Glow on Melrose? I need it by Friday's shoot. T-checks." I didn't respond. A few hours later, she called. I ignored it. She sent a voice memo, sounding sweet and breathy like her influencer videos. "Hey babe, I know things got a little intense. I just think we need to talk in person, calmly. I don't want to fight. I really think we can get past this. You're the only one I trust." That last line? You're the only one I trust. From the woman who trusted Aaron G's mattress more than my loyalty. I still didn't respond. Then she tried emotional bait. Sent a photo of the stupid silver bracelet I gave her for our second anniversary. Simple, custom engraved. Still us. "Jenna, I put this on today. Thought about you all morning. Please don't let this be how we end." I stared at it. That bracelet? I spent hours customizing it. Engraved it with something we used to say every time life got chaotic. Still us. Like no matter what changed, money, jobs, careers, we were still us. But she wore it after cheating on me. Used it like a prop in a redemption arc. I wanted to throw my phone out the damn window. Instead, I called my friend Max. He's brutally honest, ex-military, no BS type. I told him the whole thing. He said, "Bro, she's not sorry. She's just afraid of losing the lifestyle." I asked him what to do. He said, "If it was just physical, that's bad. But if she's spinning up love letters and fake tears, that's dangerous. That's calculated. That's not I slipped. That's I planned." And that stuck with me. Because even the apology was a lie. The silence that week was both bliss and hell. Bliss, because for the first time in years, I wasn't dodging emotional landmines or trying to figure out which version of Jenna I'd get that day. Supportive wife, icy influencer, or manipulative guilt bomber. Hell, because I missed her. I hated that. I hated that my body still had this muscle memory for her, like how I instinctively reached for my phone to show her memes or funny videos. How I still thought in twos when ordering food. And even though she cheated, even though she lied and gaslit and twisted everything, I still remember the good parts. Our first trip to Catalina, her humming while brushing her teeth. The time she cried during a dumb movie and pretended it was allergies. I miss that girl. But that girl didn't exist anymore. That Friday, I caved. Drove past the apartment. Her car wasn't there. I let myself in, mostly to grab some clothes, but curiosity got the better of me. I sat at her makeup vanity, where she did her GRW videos, and opened her laptop. I don't know what I was looking for, maybe more lies, maybe closure. I opened a folder called Collabs_2024. Inside were her brand contracts. But mixed in were JPGs labeled like Aaron Rooftop Night.jpg, IMG_4140_A.G.smile, us_Vegas_private.jpg. Vegas. She told me she went to Vegas alone in February. Said it was a solo retreat to get clarity. Guess Aaron G was the guru. I clicked a video file. Stupid. I knew I shouldn't. It was a boomerang of them kissing in front of a mirror. Her in a red dress I bought her. Him holding her waist like they were married. She captioned it, "The real me." That broke me. Not because she cheated, but because she lived a whole other life right under my nose. With a whole other version of herself. I shut the laptop, left the apartment, went to my car and just sat there. My hands were shaking, but I wasn't crying. Not really. It was like the sadness had calcified into something colder. Resolve. I texted her. "I saw the files. Don't contact me again unless it's through a lawyer." She replied an hour later. "Wait, what files? You're being paranoid again. This is insane." I didn't respond. Back at Nate's place, I showed him the screenshots. All of them. I didn't want to be dramatic. I wanted someone else to confirm I wasn't losing my mind. He scrolled in silence for a while, then finally said, "Dude, this isn't just cheating. This is like a second life." Exactly. He tossed the phone on the coffee table like it burned him. "She's doing full-on brand shoots with this guy while married to you. Did you see the captions? That's not someone slipping up. That's strategy." Then he asked, "Are you sure this is the first time?" That's when the bottom dropped out again. Because no, I wasn't sure. I went back through her Instagram with new eyes. Found a post from last summer where she's in Joshua Tree alone, but the wine glass reflected in her sunglasses is clearly held by someone else. Someone male. Someone with Aaron's exact tattoo. It wasn't just a one-time thing. This had been going on for months, maybe longer. The worst part? One of the photos was taken on our anniversary. She claimed she was on a self-care hiking trip, while I stayed back working overtime to pay for her rebrand. I even sent her flowers to the Airbnb. Now I realize he probably handed them to her, and I was just a name on the lease. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I opened a file I hadn't touched in years, our wedding video. Stupid move, but I wanted to see if the love ever looked real. And it did. Too real. Too happy. Like the kind of couple other people envy. And maybe that's the cruelest part. We weren't fake back then. Somewhere along the line, she just pivoted. Without telling me. Nate watched part of it with me. He muttered, "She doesn't deserve a soft guy like you, man." She wanted a co-star, not a husband. That line wrecked me. Because deep down, I knew it was true. I wasn't going to confront her again. I was done. But she showed up at Nate's place. Yup. No warning. Just rang the doorbell in full, casual glam, influencer mode. Oversized hoodie, flawless makeup, and that same manipulative half-smile she used when she'd pretend nothing was wrong. Nate answered, and she tried to fake warmth. "Hey, is he here? I just want to talk." He looked back at me, then said flatly, "He doesn't want to see you." Tried to close the door. She wedged her Dior sneaker in the gap. "I'm his wife, Nate. You don't get to gatekeep his marriage." I stepped into view. I don't know what I expected. Anger? Tears? What I got was performance. "Oh, thank God," she said, like she just found a lost puppy. "Can we please go somewhere and talk?" I told her there was nothing left to say. She tilted her head. "Okay, you're upset. I get it. But are you really going to throw everything away over a rumor?" "A rumor?" I laughed. One of those dry, broken laughs you only do when your soul's already been scraped raw. I saw the photos, the videos, the captions, the fake solo trips. You labeled a man's smile as a file name. "Don't insult me with rumor." And she snapped. She dropped the sweet act like a mask. "Oh, so you went through my stuff? That's abuse. That's controlling." I was trying to find myself. "You knew I was suffocating in that marriage." My jaw clenched. "You mean the marriage I financed while you played pretend online and kissed men in Vegas?" Her eyes flared. "You were boring, okay? You became boring. Do you think I dreamed of ending up with someone who folds laundry at night while I'm getting brand deals thrown at me?" There it was. She didn't just cheat. She despised the version of me that stayed loyal, quiet, supportive. I didn't say a word. I just nodded. Like, okay. Truth bomb landed. She noticed. "So that's it? You're giving up?" I replied, "You gave up first. I'm just catching up." Nate finally pushed the door shut, and she didn't fight it this time. I stood there in the hallway, heart pounding, brain vibrating, thinking, that's who she really is. And for the first time, I didn't miss her anymore. I didn't think things could get weirder. I figured that confrontation with Jenna was the climax. I was wrong. About 4 days after she stormed off, I got a DM from a name that made me blink twice. Megan Fox. Not a fan account. Not a meme page. The Megan Fox. Blue check, millions of followers. I assumed it was a prank. I opened it. "Hey, sorry to bother you. This might sound strange, but I think your wife used my face for brand promos without clearance." Someone on my team flagged a weird collab post from an influencer named Jenna. Wait, what? I clicked the attached screenshots. Sure enough, Jenna had posted a collab mock-up with a hair product, tagged Megan Fox's official handle, and even put a fake quote. Megan says, "This is my secret weapon." There was never a real collab. It was all fabricated. She faked a celebrity endorsement of Megan freaking Fox. My stomach dropped. Now it made sense why Jenna got some sudden attention last month. One of her videos had gone semi-viral and led to a couple of mid-tier sponsorships. I thought it was organic. Nope, just another lie. I replied to Megan's message cautiously, explained who I was, and confirmed Jenna and I were separated. Megan responded, gracious, surprisingly cool, and said her legal team would likely send a takedown. Here's the twist, though. 2 hours later, Jenna posted a story crying. Full glam, soft piano music, holding her dog and claiming people are trying to cancel me for being authentic. She even said, "They're using my husband to discredit me." I'm being attacked for having a voice. Classic victim playbook. My inbox flooded. Old mutuals. Distant cousins. Even her mother texted me. What's going on? She's saying you're trying to destroy her career. At that point, I realized she wasn't going to fade out quietly. She was going to scorch the earth and twist the narrative until she came out looking like the misunderstood heroine. And if I wasn't careful, I was going to be cast as the bitter, controlling ex. Once the Megan Fox thing hit the fan, everything snowballed. Megan's team sent a cease and desist within 24 hours. Jenna deleted the fake collab post, but not before a bunch of influencer drama accounts caught wind of it. Screenshots spread like wildfire. Suddenly, my soon-to-be ex-wife was the main character on TikTok for all the wrong reasons. But instead of laying low, she doubled down. She posted a video titled, "The Dark Side of Marriage, My Truth." She didn't name me directly, but she didn't have to. She talked about a man who weaponized her creativity, who shamed her for growing, who used his access to her passwords to sabotage her brand. It was infuriating. And somehow, people believed her. Comment sections were filled with blue heart emojis and "Stay strong, queen, pleading face sparkles." Meanwhile, I was talking to a lawyer. Because here's what no one tells you: when you marry a self-employed influencer with delusions of fame, you end up entangled in their mess whether you like it or not. Some of her sponsorships were under my name. She used my LLC to run them because her personal credit was trash when we got married. Now, brands were asking me about breached contracts. One even threatened legal action. So yeah, I had to lawyer up. When we served Jenna the divorce papers, she posted a news story 20 minutes later. He couldn't handle a strong woman. That same week, I found out she told her family I cheated on her. Claimed she walked in on me with a coworker, and that's why our marriage failed. Full fiction. Her lies weren't just spin, they were deliberate rewrites of reality. She didn't just bend the truth. She took a sledgehammer to it and built a completely different timeline. And then came the final hit. My lawyer called me one evening and said, "Did you know Jenna filed for spousal support?" Yup. She wanted money. From me. The same man she said was emotionally abusive, controlling, and jealous of her success. She wanted me to fund her lifestyle post-breakup. I actually laughed when I heard it. A bitter, dry laugh. Because the gall was just astronomical. I told my lawyer, give her nothing. Let her burn her fake empire down on her own. And that's where I drew the line. After weeks of court filings, social media storms, and endless lies, I finally had a moment where I felt like myself again. It wasn't some grand revelation. No viral comeback or heroic speech. It was a quiet afternoon in my new apartment. Bare walls, a cheap couch, and a half-empty takeout box on the coffee table. I sat down, opened my laptop, and started applying to jobs. Real jobs. Jobs where nobody cared about Instagram followers or fake endorsements. That simple act, taking control of my own future, felt like reclaiming a part of my soul. I stopped following her drama online, deleted the notifications, blocked the people stirring the pot. I realized I couldn't fix her, change her, or even make her see the truth. What I could do was move forward. I told my lawyer to focus on a clean break. No alimony, no drama, just freedom. And here's the kicker. I started seeing a therapist. I won't sugarcoat it. The betrayal crushed me emotionally and mentally. But therapy helped me unpack the bitterness, the shame, and the grief. I learned that betrayal isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of the other person's inability to be honest, loyal, or decent. That day, the day I stopped trying to salvage what was broken and started building something new, I got my power back. A few weeks after I started therapy and felt a bit more grounded, I got a message out of the blue from Jenna's sister. We never really talked before. She wasn't someone I'd even met in person much. But this message was different. It was short and raw. "You don't deserve any of this. She's been lying to everyone, even us. I'm sorry. I was skeptical at first. Why now? Why me?" We met for coffee in a quiet cafe. She looked tired, like she'd been carrying a secret for too long. She told me things I never knew. How Jenna had always struggled with truth, how she lied to cover her insecurities, and how this whole glamorous life was a mask she kept up at all costs. The worst part? Her sister said Jenna had a history of manipulating people close to her, spinning stories to make herself look like the victim, even when she was the one causing the damage. She admitted she tried to help Jenna before, but her sister just pushed everyone away. And the part that crushed me most. She told me you were controlling, that you wouldn't let her live her truth. But I know the truth is she was scared of being alone, and she used you to stay comfortable. That hit me hard. I'd been angry, heartbroken, and confused, but this was a whole new layer. She wasn't just a cheater or liar. She was a deeply broken person. I left the cafe feeling a strange mix of pity and closure. Sometimes, the worst betrayals come from people who don't even know how to be honest with themselves. After the public meltdown, the viral posts, and the never-ending commentary, there was one thing that no one online talked about, and honestly, it's what hurt the most. People saw the drama, the lies, the betrayal, but they didn't see the quiet aftermath. They didn't see the nights I lay awake wondering if I was the problem. They didn't see the moments I doubted my own judgment, wondering how someone I loved so much could be such a liar. They didn't see the shame I felt when people whispered or gave me pitying looks. Or the loneliness, the overwhelming sense that my perfect life was just a fragile illusion. Social media made it a spectacle. But real life? It was messy, painful, and deeply isolating. What the internet forgot to say is that betrayal breaks you inside long after the noise dies down. It took me months to stop blaming myself, to realize that sometimes people show you who they really are, not who you want them to be. The perfect wife with a glamorous life. She was a mask, a set of lies so thick I didn't see the cracks until they shattered everything. If you're reading this and going through something similar, maybe your partner's lying, twisting the truth, or betraying your trust, I want you to hear this. Trust your gut. The first signs of trouble aren't usually just paranoia. They're your intuition telling you something's off. Don't drown in the lies. It's easy to get stuck replaying the betrayal over and over. But healing starts when you stop feeding the pain. Set boundaries. Whether it's a breakup or a messy separation, protect your mental space. Block, mute, or step away from toxic conversations and people. Get help. Therapy isn't just for broken people. It's for anyone who needs to make sense of chaos and rebuild stronger. Remember your worth. Lies and betrayal don't define you. They define the person who chose to lie. And one last thing, don't feel pressured to forgive or forget on anyone else's timeline. Your healing is your own journey. If Jenna's story taught me anything, it's this. Sometimes, the hardest thing isn't the betrayal itself, it's learning to love yourself again after. So here I am, months later, still piecing together what's left after the storm. I'm not going to lie, some days are harder than others. Sometimes the memories sneak in, the what-ifs, the regrets. But I'm learning to focus on what's next instead of what's lost. I've started new routines, early morning runs, reading, catching up with old friends who remind me who I really am. I even joined a local photography group, something I'd always wanted to try but never had time for. I'm dating again, cautiously. Trust doesn't come easy, but I'm open to the possibility that not everyone will lie. Most importantly, I'm proud of myself for walking away from a toxic, glamorous lie, for choosing my peace over a false version of happiness. If there's one thing I want anyone going through this to know, it's that you can rebuild. You can rise from the ashes of betrayal and find a version of yourself that's stronger, wiser, and freer. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Thanks for reading my story. If you're dealing with something similar or just want to vent, my inbox is open.